Salman, guys. So I know it's not the most exciting topic, but it's a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and it's a topic that I've addressed a couple of times. And I'm gonna try and just hit it from a different angle. So I'm talking about mental health, but more importantly, I'm talking about trauma. Um, had a lot of great conversations this weekend, and like we grew up very different, man, from the generation above us and the generation above them. And their trauma reflects or is seen in a very different way. Tina, it trauma yetu is, and it's almost like an ongoing challenge with constant triggers. And there's never been any space where we've taught or we are taught how to handle trauma. So what is trauma? Trauma is a negative happening in your life. So maybe a loss of a loved one, that could be a traumatic experience. You're getting fired, traumatic experience, getting evicted in your home. But for a lot of us, the relationship that we have is the type of trauma that we have is relationship trauma. Be it a very, very toxic relationship with your family and your siblings, be it the professional relationship at work with your line managers, maybe you got fired, whatever the case may be. But a deep one is the relationship trauma. You walk into a room and you see your girlfriend cheating on you, or you read text that you shouldn't have read, and boom, traumatic experience, because again, now you're in this downward spiral. Your partner, he hit you, whatever the case may be, and that was a very, very traumatic experience. God, the biggest problem after that huge traumatic experience, that we don't have any outlets, that we don't have any places, or we don't have access to, rather, ways in which we can handle and deal with that trauma. So okay, umuntu wakho ukushayile, a very traumatic experience. You go to the police station, you open a statement, they go, let's say justice gets served, but you still are in pain, like not physical pain per se, because maybe you've healed, but emotionally, psychologically, you're traumatized now. Most South Africans can't afford to go to therapy, and if you do, therapy is not just let's do 3 sessions and you'll be fine. So if you're paying 1,000 rand a session, let's say, and that's on the low end, and you might have to see this person twice a week for the next 2 years. Yeah, you understand that, Guti, now financially it takes a different feel, even though therapy is the best way to handle trauma. The way in which we do it is so fucked up, because what we do is that we press it down. We press it down, we push it down. Relationship trauma, we push it down, we pretend like it never existed. We jump from one relationship to another. So this guy cheated on me, okay, no, sharp, fucking bye, boom, to the next guy. That guy cheats on me, oh fuck, man, a dog, boom, bye, boom, jump to the next thing. And then in the little passages where we are single from relationship to relationship, we become so toxic, because again, we've got all this pent up negative energy, and we go toxic, and we go through a whole phase, or whatever the case may be, become extremely destructive because of the trauma that we have. I saw this reel years ago where they speak about trauma, but this lady's blowing a balloon and she tries to push it underwater, and she's like, that's what we do. So this is all our trauma. We have it and we push it underwater, and again, when you push it underwater, it doesn't get smaller, it doesn't get smaller, and what happens is that all it requires is for a triggering event. If you walked in and your partner was cheating on you, and you walked in and they were playing a Beyonce song, you will never ever be able to listen to Beyonce the way that you used to before. Beyonce will be the most triggering person ever. You hear a Beyonce song, boom, that balloon explodes. Then you're reacting however. Maybe you were happy at the birthday party, next thing now you're sad, you're emotional, next thing you're angry, next thing you're acting out, because you haven't dealt with all the trauma. I lost my aunt in 2007. My favorite aunt, no offense to other aunties who are watching, but I lost her, and it's such a traumatic experience when you lose someone that you really, really love like that. And for me, whenever I hear Uluda Venros, because that was her favorite artist, like, I get emotional, I get sad, I go through all my feels when I hear Uluda Venros, or when I hear Uprenda Fasi, I get in my feels. because there's constant triggers. However, I've processed and I've dealt with that, so the triggers for me become less and less emotional. Yes, it was a long time ago, but triggers don't just disappear. That was 2007 till now. What is that, guys? Maths, guys, 16 years ago. I still get triggered. Not as intensely as I did then, but I still get triggered. And the main reason is because I processed it. A lot of the stuff, a lot of us who are going through a lot of relationship turmoil, a lot of traumas, a lot of pain and hurt, we never get to process them. We never ever get to process them. We just pretend and we push them down. You will carry this baggage. Dr. Jordan Peterson speaks about this. Pain and trauma that has not been resolved and dealt with, you will carry it for 50 years. It will change the entire landscape of how you view relationships if you don't deal with that thing thoroughly. If you were in a relationship and all of a sudden your girlfriend left you for a guy who's got more money, your view of money will change from that point on. If you loved her and you cared about her and she left from, your view on money and success will change from that point on. You'll become either extremely wealthy and successful in order to overcompensate, or you'll just move away from any type of female that says, hey, 1 rand, bye, when are you gold digging, ho, bye. And it has nothing to do with Osisi, but it's everything to do with the traumatic experience that you had that you have not dealt with. Every time you see soccer on TV, you get angry because your dad, who left when you were 7, used to love soccer, and then pops, he left and it never was the same after that. So it's all these little things that actually cause little cracks in our brains. We always so fucked, we also wind up, we always this trauma constant. You guys enter a relationship without healing from your past. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's like playing a rugby game and I go and I get tackled and I get cut and my eye's falling out, and all I do is that I just hold my eye and I run back onto the field. No, fix it, heal, then go into that game again, because you'll be more efficient that way. So now we all going into relationships already traumatized, already broken, already triggered, already Then we go into the next relationship and we are half of who we were. What are you expecting? So she comes as half of who she was because men are trash. He comes in half of who he is because all these women are whole. Okay, sharp. You guys get there. You guys also have your own scuffles because you're bringing past pain into here, past triggers into here. You guys omit everything. You guys lie about everything because that's how people are. They think that this is a job interview. No one gets to truly heal. You guys fuck up again because, again, creatures of habit, as we all are. You fuck up again with these undealt traumatic experiences. You do the same thing, you do the worst thing, you do a different thing, but again, it's toxic. You leave that relationship, you're a quarter. You don't heal, you go drink yourself into a stupor, you go smash 100 girls, you keep that life, rinse, repeat, like that, constantly. And again, hurting how many women on your path? When I see how many men are you hurting? Every week you want a different guy to fund you this, fund you that, fund you this, and you're still telling men are trash. And it's tiring, hey? It's tiring, guys. We need to find a way to heal. A big one for me is writing things down, communicating. It's embarrassing, it's shameful, but you need to say, okay, no, sharp, this is what happened. This is my view on money. This is why money can be triggering on me. This is my view on this. This is my view on that. This is my view on girls. This is why I struggle in relationship, long-term relationship. This is why I don't feel I'm ready for this. This is why. And that's just trauma. We still need to unpack anxiety, depression. What does that look like in today's time? Where we're constantly anxious. Today is Monday, and I can tell you 100% how many people yesterday, once it got to the evening, they started getting anxious. Their stomach started turning. They started feeling sick because the thought of work tomorrow. What does work represent to them? Why are you anxious? A lot of people right now who this week, they can't breathe because this is the last week of the month. They're getting paid on Saturday. He's got 20 rand in his account. God knows what he'll eat. He's got so much pressure, yet when he scrolls down his Instagram feed, he's constantly bombarded with this whole week people are going to be living their best lives, and he with 20 rand, he has to be a loser. He has to be this he's what a clown, he's not serious about his life type of guy, right? Lapo, he's not alone. Every other person who's also scrolling through is feeling the exact same anxiety, seeing everybody live while they're under pressure, seeing everybody in love, going on these romantic dates, while you can't even get a single DM you can't even get a response. You can't even get someone to double click and like your message. That, Come on. How is everybody finding love and traveling there and doing these beautiful reels? Why me? And that's eating into our mental health, guys. That's eating into our mental health. The reason why the generation above us saw a different view of life, different type of trauma, different type of anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be, is because they weren't constantly bombarded with what everybody else was doing. So yeah, if he knew that he's only got 20 rand, there's no Instagram that's telling him that he's less than, there's no TikTok where it's constant comparison, and he'll live. He'll be okay. You know, his wife, his girlfriend is not comparing him constantly every day, whether she's subbing him in a reel that she's sending, there's no comparison like how we get constantly, you know. So there's so many variables, and I watch these people and I'm like, tena so ibulala, guys. Yo, hey, so ibulala. And khona abantu even here on YouTube who are going to comment and act like bango Rambo, like one of those things don't affect them. Because they do, they affect all of us in different degrees. We all get anxious in different ways. We all have different trauma in different ways. You might be blessed and not have relationship trauma. That's great for you. Well done, clap hands. But you might have trauma in different areas. Have you dealt with it? Do you have people in your life who can assist you and guide you in those areas? Or are you just trying to, I'll figure it out? Those Mr. Figure It Outs, those are the ones that are sweeping it under the rug, and then when they get into the next relationship, all that shit will come up. And they are the ones that are fucking up this community. And they are the ones who are busy blaming women, or the women who are busy blaming men, instead of actually understanding, which means I'm fucked for whatever reason. Yes, initially it could have been X, Y, and Z, but where am I now? How am I healing now? How am I getting better now? So that when I get into my next relationship, I can pour into that relationship. So that when I get into my new job, I can pour into that. So that the day comes, God forbid it's soon, but I hope it's 50 years from now, if a loved one passes, I can be strong enough to handle the whole funeral, and on top of that, to be able to heal thereafter, you know. But guys, man, I hope you guys look after yourselves. Physically, you guys need to drink water, look after yourselves mentally, make sure that you unfollow all the trashy people that you're following on your social media. That's not good for you at all. If people, even if it's me, even if it's your loved one, make you feel anxious in a type of way on your social media, unfollow those motherfuckers. Don't waste your time. Guys, look after yourselves. Have yourselves a phenomenal day.